Listeners, have you ever watched someone dance and wondered how they seem so connected, but just not to the music, but to themselves as well? And dance is it just a movement of hands or body parts, or it's an emotion or expression? I believe it's much more beyond that. And to help us unravel this mystery of dancing, we have here today with us Bharat Sahni. He comes with over 14 years of experience in dancing and a master of over 30 dance forms and has taught over 2,500 people across his career. His journey in dance is not just about choreography or performance, but about personal growth, empowerment, and healing. Welcome, Bharat, to We Are Listening.
Hello, Pulkit. Thank you for such a warm welcome. And it's a pleasure to be here with you doing this
Same here,
podcast.
Bharat.
And this is my first time doing a podcast.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
That's
so let's see what comes out.
I look forward to making it, really invigorating for you. And I hope to see you in many more podcast episodes in the future as well. So, Bharat, why don't we start with your personal journey, your childhood, what introduced you to dance as a form, and taking it up as a career and enabling people out there?
The story goes long back. So I have always been very average, dumb kid who used to wonder about life. And till class 10th, I was in this mental process that what world is, what life is about, and there was a dance competition going on. I realized I will try everything,
Mhm.
debates, singing. I'm very bad at singing, honestly. So then I found dancing. There was just two, three steps which I did repeatedly, and I really felt something good. I gave the audition. I even got slapped for all the process, trying to force myself into dancing, but they never allowed. But then I realized this is something I like in my childhood. So I planned to learn dancing. I used to download 783 KB. Like I remember the limit 783 KB video of a dance video in a very small screen just to learn few steps. So
Wow.
that was the first step into dancing, and I realized I'm passionate. So एक से दो रुपए like it used to charge 2-3 rupees, and उस time 2-3 rupees phone का recharge was too much. डांट पड़ती थी.
Yes, yes, yes.
So my first learning was that. देन आई यूज टू स्टे बैक एट स्कूल. मेरे बैग के अंदर से दूसरा बैग निकलता था, एंड दो बैग पीछे आगे उसमें मैं रद्दी भरता था. स्कूल में न्यूज़पेपर बच्चे पढ़ते नहीं है, वेस्ट जाता है. तो वेस्ट जाएगा तो मेरे हाथों वेस्ट जाना चाहिए. आई यूज टू कैरी दैट होम 2 किलोमीटर अवे. घर पे पहाड़ बनाया, रद्दी सद्दी बेची, एंड देन आई पेड फॉर माई फर्स्ट अर्ली डांस क्लासेस.
Wow.
So I went to Musical Dreams, and since then I am still a member of Musical Dreams. I do their biggest clients 14 years later, and that company offered me hip hop classes. That was my first interest in dancing. And from hip hop, then my 11th, 12th went dancing. I used to dance under a street light, and people used to tease me, like say anything about me, कि ये नचनिया है, मुजरा कर रहा है. They used to make fun, but somehow all the anger, all the frustration about the world was on one side, and was this street light right beneath my house. I had my headphones and I was dancing under the street light. So I knew everybody was making fun. I used to feel bad, but then in that moment, it never felt bad. I was dancing. That's all. So my early steps into dancing. Then I joined Musical Dreams as a company member in 2013. They trained me in ballet. So dance at that point was not only dance, it was also escape from reality. And I wanted to conquer something, win something, fight against the world, release my anger. Too much. It was very heavy energy. And basic dancing would have never given me that. So I started learning ballet. 3 years, 4 years into ballet professional training. And along ballet came jazz, contemporary, and then the style goes into branches. Jazz was no more jazz, street jazz, funk jazz, afro jazz. They broke down into forms. I continuously kept learning, opened my first institute in 2015. And so partnership was, my teachings are always about value for money. And dancing is a tool for me which taught me everything in my life. So how can I not be ethical about it? So my first studio got closed. My second studio in 2016 was again a partnership that got closed. Then a friend of mine, Weber, he joined me into a third company, which was a wedding choreography company in 2017. He had his relation issues, so because of that, our partnership didn't work. We work together. Like 7 8 years, we have we have revived that, and we are good wedding planning partners. So then I got into contracts. I got into actual freelancing world. I was freelancing. I was trying to learn new things. I was exploring. I was doing a research. And in 2019, I finally decided that it's time I open everything of my own. I opened an institute working from 7 to late night 1. And my dance training was also similar. I am a BTech student and I used to leave early morning to the studio, not to the college.
Okay.
3% attendance in college. And I used to learn dance. Number aa jate the. I was smart. I was a good student. So dance सीखना है. You have to learn in 5 to 6 hours training तो company was giving. Then I used to assist other teacher to learn more. And then I used to go home and practice in the night. And late night, park में घास में लेटा है बच्चा, doggies के साथ, and he's working out. He's practicing his dance. And then later night in the one, I was researching in areas about dance. So I learned what lighting was, what the worked on stage, how stage design worked, what light names were there, and what were the uses. Every detail. I experienced those with shows over the years. 2020 was where I was stuck when the lockdown happened. I had a successful institute. First time in my life, I had a successful business. And I already closed 7 8 business by then. I tried different businesses also. So there, lockdown gave me a crash. I started traveling. That is where I connected with myself more. And when I came back, I traveled for two months, like from 2020 to 2023. So I also did a school job to save that institute. And that is where I broke into my life. My mental breakdown came after the job, realizing that this is what not I have given so many years for. So I closed my institute. I closed my dancing. Again traveled for a year dancing around. And I got into a new dance form. This is a Latin community where I again got opportunity to learn 12, 15 more dance forms.
Wow.
I connected with people. It was a non-verbal communication. I was actually talking to people with steps. Like I was giving them lead, following them. This was a new exploration. I'm researching on that. And so salsa, I won a salsa champion in Delhi. I bagged 2 trophies from amateur to semi-pro, and now I am a rising artist in upcoming festival. And soon maybe I'll be traveling around India with for festivals. And now I own a company called Nas Desi that gives every dance service. So this was the whole journey which have brought me this far into dancing.
Wow. But I would like to summarize or share. I can see a lot of me in you as well. Like I can relate to what you have gone through. It's just that the paths were different, but with more or less similar experiences. A lot of I my partnered ventures didn't work out. It have to be those had to be closed. But जहाँ चाहे वहाँ रहा है वाली बात है. And you have to be, you have to work with perseverance and be consistent with your targets. Something that really kept me going even in my journey throughout was if you're truthful to yourself with what you're doing, you will reach your goal.
Yeah.
And वही अपना रेंचो कहता था कि सक्सेस झक मार के पीछे आएगी. तो आई कैन सी दैट हैपनिंग स्लोली एंड स्टेडली टुडे. And congrats to you, making it here and breaking all the shackles and going against the society. Because as a performer, as an artist, to a certain extent, I've never gone out as an artist, but it's even I write poetry at times, and I know people, pass their judgments without even knowing you. They are always ready to pass their comments or pull legs for somebody. So often if you whenever we are on a meeting in person, I will share you my visiting card. My visiting card has this very small line written that we believe in pulling hands, not legs. So this just came out of me throughout all the experiences I had in my life. And I could so much resonate with what you were just saying. So I was totally, lost in your journey. Um, just trying to recollect my thoughts of the discussion we want to have. Dance as an art form, even Adi Yogi, who gave yoga to the world today, is also worshipped by many dance forms.
Mm.
And yoga, be it dance, be it yoga, they all are ways to connect with yourself. That's my belief. And you can correct me or, elaborate on this if I'm right. Uh, how, dance really connects with the wellness of an individual. Because you also talked about connecting with your own being through dance. So if you can elaborate a bit on that.
Dance specifically moves in a very different aspect with how you approach it. If you approach it through your mental aspect, dance will give you intelligence way more than any of other activity. Why? Because there are nine types of intelligence, and primarily that dance give is musicality. First of all, this intelligence is something where a person can count the rhythm and interpret the music. Like this is a very different kind of intelligence. Then you have kinesthetic intelligence. A dancer can easily enter into different sports. That body is flexible, and flexible doesn't mean you can stretch more. Flexible means you can deal with a lot of different the movements flexibly. So that level of flexibility is there when you have kinesthetic intelligence. This is something very specific. It's called spatial awareness. And in kids, you can see they hit a lot of places, like they hit into the wall, they hit their feet, they are constantly getting hurt. So if somebody is spatially aware, it's a natural sense where you can sense who is moving around you, what is around you without even looking at it. Dance gives you this. Dance, now what it gave me, it was intrapersonal skills. Like it's intrapersonal intelligence, which is my understanding of myself. How can we understand who we are? Because everybody thinks they know themselves, but throughout your life, you are continuously doing that and you never realize just finding who you are. So, dance helps you connect to that spirit, that soul, which is like a child, which has a very different expression. But then, when you get into that expression, you don't want to do the things which are wrong in your life. Anything. If you can dance every day, you don't want to meet bad people. You don't want to sit in bad energy. You don't want to do a job that irritates you. What gives you this feeling? It's not dopamine. It's not just dopamine that dance is giving you. It is connecting you to yourself. You feel more about you. You feel more of that emotion. You feel that joy. If you're dancing for very long period, you feel a different kind of high. So at that high state, you think and you think good about yourself. This is what dance do to a person. Dance also gives you interpersonal skill. I have somebody around me. If I can dance, if I can move, it gives a different kind of confidence, which is a different skill set, you can say, or it's ability. And a person with more ability tend to be open more. If you don't have many abilities, you feel low. Dance is something which gives you a lot of movement to speak. So my hands are moving, my body is moving. It's a element that adds to your conversation. So it grows your interpersonal communication skills also. There
Nice.
are more intelligence, but these are the main. Like it gives you all this.
Amazing.
When we talk about health, so this was your mental aspect. When we talk about health, it is a very good beneficial activity. And of course, dance has its roots in early culture where people celebrated togetherness, maybe their
Yeah.
harvest and everything. They celebrated everything. They celebrated relation, marriages, harvest, rain. Everything was celebrated with music and dance. So it is an activity needed for the body. It has always been believed in culture. And lastly, the spiritual side, dance and dancers usually get lost very easily. Every artist get lost easily because the journey of an artist is about finding themselves. A person doing job is not about finding themselves. They will do what they are told. But a dancer cannot do, a artist cannot do what they are told. Like a lot of people have seen the movie Rockstar.
Yeah.
It has a very different spiritual angle also, where he realizes about his life, where he actually feels the pain flowing through his art. He has that expression. He can release it now, and the character changes. So a lot of artists have the same journey, because once you feel something to release it, people never had a medium. At least somebody has a medium, which is dancing or singing. They are screaming it or moving it out loud, because everybody feels pain, and who wants to be numb? Like, people are numb these days. Do you want to be spiritually, emotionally disconnected to everything? This is where dance play a role, and it gives you that feeling that no, I feel pain, but I can go beyond,
Yeah.
because there is a world beyond this. So this is how it helps.
Amazing. But often there is a notion where artists, again, as you rightly put across, that artists can feel pain. They are highly, their EQs are very high. The emotional quotient with which artists work, be it in any form, it's really high. And a lot of them are not able to disconnect from the emotions that they are feeling because of their surroundings and their own emotions that often get diffused, which somewhere or the other create more I would say anxieties and mental pressures on themselves.
A
So
more
how to deal with it?
uncomfortable state.
Yeah, uncomfortable scenarios. Yes.
Quite often, I tell a lot of artists this thing, that you are an artist. You are somebody who know a piece of art, which is maybe music or dance. But what you have to learn is art of living. You just know a small piece. I believe you will learn a lot of small pieces, but the most important piece is art of living. And if an artist is told this, they are the earliest people to do that. I have seen biggest people in the world. You will see the biggest business people, the entrepreneurs. Once you grow rich, once you are beyond everything, what will you do? You only enjoy art. Artistically cooked food, you will be eating that. You will be driving a car, which is a piece of art. You will have expensive paintings. You will be listening to the best music. You will be having the best sound system. You will be dancing. You will be doing everything which is artistic. Or you are going to nature. That's it. What
Yep.
connects you? What connects you? Nature is also art in itself.
Yes.
So you will go there. Trust me, everybody goes to the art. Everybody indulges themselves in the end into the art. That is how we live here. But then if you don't know the art of living, there is no point being an art. Because that is preparing you for a even worse situation. And I know some people really want to release the pain through dancing, but they lose their way. And this is not because of uh, awareness, this is because of the competition. A lot of people, when they get into the art, they feel that there might be a lot of competition, but there are not good people. Like, it's an open space. And so everybody sees that scope, and they get lost, because this artistic field is, it'll never be what you call labeled, or like it can never be turned into something like universities. Like,
Mhm.
it is exploration field. It will always go into research in the end. So people start different journeys through dancing, and they lose their path, because it is not systemized, and you constant get this pressure of, this is bad, don't do this. So people want to do it more. The society has a certain loophole of pushing people into repetitive cycle of trying to prove themselves. And a lot of artists are seeking validation in the end. To exit this cycle, they need to get into understanding the art of living.
Amazing.
So yes, a lot of artists need to know just this thing, that you are already on the right path, but do that in your life also, not in your art. Like, art is here, it's a piece of art. This is life. If life is here, your art starts here. If life is here, your art starts here. So take it to that level. Take your life to that level, and it pushes your art way beyond.
Bharat, can you help me understand for whom is dance actually out there? Like a lot of people feel hesitant while the dance might be inside them, they would feel like moving out there, but something really stops them and they stays in their, they stay in their own self. They're not able to get that those expressions out. So whom all can dance really help out the, heal through the form of dance as an art?
So I have seen two types of people enjoying dance the most, releasing the most. They are one people who don't have anything, and second people who have everything. These two people feel the joy of dancing. The people who are stuck are chasing something in life. So when we ask for who like which type of people can heal through it, exactly the people who are chasing or seeking or running behind things and who are not connected to themselves. If you so take it like this, I am sitting at my home, my home address is A, and I am continuously chasing something. I want something. So I leave my home and I will go to a different place. Say, for example, that is a home address B or C. And when the opportunities come, they are not going to come at B or C. And if they come at B or C, those are not my opportunity. So this is what happens when you chase, you are not at your own address. You are chasing something which never belonged to you. And the things that want to belong to you are not on you. So this is exactly the people who need dancing in their life. Once they start dancing, they feel like they are there. They are right there. They are the people who are control of their body. Their
Mhm.
body cannot control them. And similar way, they are in control of their life. Their life is not controlling them. So the chases goes down. People feel more connected. They give more into small things or them of their lives after dancing.
Thanks a lot, Bharat, for that particular information. But again, while we have seen a lot of dancers in marriages, they breaking down the dance floors after having, a shot of whiskey or whatever their preferred drink is. But there's often a notion that artists are finding ways to stay in a higher alter ego, trying to find ways to disconnect from the real world and
Mm,
stay in a different zone. There are stories or whispers about some of the biggest artists out there of the Bollywood and Hollywood industries,
mm.
where it has been told that they're always high when they have a drink or they, take CBD or something of that form before they are getting out there for performance. How does it really help, and is it really even true, or how does this whole scenario is out there?
So take it like this: alcohol or maybe any substance.
Mhm.
We take them as drugs,
Yeah.
and people very often have this thought in mind that drug and addiction are same. They are not same. Drug are tools which are used by people, and addictions are thing people do because they want to escape something. Now, for an artist, if they want to escape reality and they are using going to addiction, like I'm a little wrong from the position. Like people use drugs to like push away things, just not feel those things. It's escape for them. For artists, when they are too much in pain, it's very easy to slip into that side where they are addicted, they wanted to escape. But there is another beautiful angle. People might want to get drunk and might want to do something and feel a little lighter about themselves. So all these things have always been there. Like our country was, I guess they were making liquor at home, and this was culture. Bhangra. I'll talk about Bhangra. This is a very good example.
Sure.
Bhangra is celebrated after drinking bhang. So farmers feel a lot of heat while farming, and they have nothing to do. Like it's a season where it's very hot. They have to cut all the veggies and plant all the seeds, and there's nothing more than that. It's no
Mhm.
harvest. Winters are not there. So they used to drink bhang. And when they used to drink bhang, they used to get high, they used to feel relaxed and good with the weather. They used to do that to release that heat of their body and their stress that heat gives. And then they used to dance, they used to play music, they used to enjoy. So there it is not a drug for them. There it is not even a tool. It's just a small act done to get relaxed. And so drugs and all of these things, even alcohol, they make your senses go away. Basically, you don't feel shame, you don't think too much. You can connect more to a specific thing. I have heard about artists like who paint and they are on, some of them are on like big time drugs and some of them are actually on antidepressants.
Mhm.
How is these two things different? Like that is prescribed, but then there art is coming. So a lot of people do microdosing. Like I have heard this more in painters and less in dancers. But yes, artists do want to use some tools to feel ecstatic. The word is ecstatic, that they want to feel ecstatic, where they can express something which they don't even know about themselves. Because then they have surrendered to something. They are into a higher self, which is seeking something which they themselves never knew.
But again, often this is portrayed in a very negative sense throughout the industry and by the media often as well. Uh, but thanks for bringing out that positive side of things and the way it needs to be looked at. And I mean, coming on one very interesting, observations I've often had with dance forms, and I would like to particularly pick out ballet as one of the dance forms out there. It's a very sophisticated dance form, if I'm not wrong. You need to really contain yourselves, your body movements, and every gesture that you're making. It's very contained. It's I guess very difficult to also perform ballet. The way whatever I have consumed about ballet, I'm not I would say even near about the novice stage for that. But how does being in a ballet really helps you learn about your body and have control over your mental health or mind, I would say. So if you can help us understand that.
So let's first get to the understanding of why that dance form was created.
Sure.
So I'll come to first Indian dance form, Bharatnatyam or maybe Afro dance. These are based on gods and planets.
Hmm.
They are a tribal dance form, very much expressive, very much a release, and very much a devotion of frequency based dance, repetition based dance.
Hmm.
When we come to ballet, it was made for royal people to feel royal, to feel grand, to give that elegance. So you might see a lot of girls who are into princes and fairies do ballet.
Yeah.
And for me, ballet was something which gives me wings. I trained for ballet. I felt light about my body. I could jump to heights. And ballet, trust me, is not an art form, it's a sport. When people do ballet, we call it's a sport. Because ballet is world's most difficult exercises are in ballet. And they look the most simplest and yet the most difficult, not to do physically, but to also think about them mentally. So there is a small plie which goes very deep into head. Like you have to squeeze your bums, you have to rotate your inner thighs, you have to keep your knees out, your knees should point toward your toes, your inner whole area should be turned out, your core should be in a spoon form, your chest should be light, your shoulder should be relaxed, your chin should be up, you should look through your nose. See, this is the mental capacity. Now, if somebody is doing this, and this is just one exercise, just one exercise I am talking about. Ballet is a whole set of things. So when you jump, when you lift a girl, when you do a turn, thousand of things you are thinking in your head. Imagine what that brain will become someday. And imagine what that body, which goes through such extreme training, will become.
Yeah.
So, yes, it is a very good thing for body and mind. And when we ask spiritual side, so the biggest ballet teachers broke out of ballet and they created more of contemporary dance. So, yes, ballet does break there. My teacher also used to tell me, Bharat, this will break out someday. And before this breakout, you make sure you learn the most you can. Because it's a cage. Ballet is a cage, a limited shaped dance form, and it's structured and it will always block you for being free. But then it will block you for so long, then when you will be free, that body will be different. So that is my perception of ballet. And this is how I take ballet. Like ballet teach you discipline and a lot of things, but then ballet train beautiful bodies and beautiful bodies mentally and physically.
Mhm, mhm.
So yes, this is ballet.
Wow, wow, wow. That was some deep insights. And the way you were just explaining that one particular exercise, I was like, I could not do it. I was just thinking if I can, do that exercise, and it's really difficult. The mental pressure that was creating. So wow.
And
Hats off.
all the people look so calm while doing that.
Yes.
You can see the calmness on their face. Like,
Mm.
what the hell are they doing? And they're so calm.
Yep, yep, totally. How can, people now really get into any dance form if they want to use dance as a medium to heal? One, how can they identify the right dance form that really works for them? And two, how can they start with it?
So this goes very much with the personality.
Mhm.
Dance form for some people might not be even a good fit when they are too scared to move. And for people, it goes with personality. So people who are very bold, very upfront, very strong. It starts with music. First of all, I'll come to music. So what music makes you feel, you will dance the same. And each music goes to a different kind of personality. So people who are very cute, very light, very pop kind of people who follow maybe Korean music, BTS or all this culture, these people will naturally go into jazz, more of punk dancing, and more of sharp dancing. But people who have soft heart, who are very calm and very light in nature, like this is a cuter side which is bold. Now I'm talking about a calmer side which is light, very warm. They would prefer something which is more elegant, like their personality. They might go with Kathak, they might go with contemporary. Now let's talk about people who want to put out something. They want to tell the world something. They want to fight back, or maybe they are rebels. These people would go into something which is more of hip hop, more jumping dance form. House hip hop has a lot of dance forms now under it. It's now umbrella term. It's no more a dance form in itself. Like how the new world sees it. The old world sees it that it's a old school, new school, and then different dance form. So that is a music genre which is for expression. And for classy people, there was rock and roll because that vibe was very different. People back at that time just got to hear music and live music. They want to move out, they want to move, like they want to throw that energy because they're hearing live music. So the dance form was different back then. And for people who are seeking connection, social connections, Latin dancing is very good for them where they can do salsa or bachata and connect with more people. So the dance goes back to music and music goes back to personality because that is how somebody will enjoy dancing. So a person should initially understand what his mood is. They want to throw punches around or they want to lightly move. This is the very initial part. And then they have to understand what kind of songs do they like. Say, for example, they like classical Hindi song. They should go for Kathak, obviously. Or, for example, they like very romantic and soft song. They might fit into contemporary. Or they might even go for ballet. It's very elegant. However, it's very hard, but then it's elegant. It's very
Mhm.
soft, very much in control. So the personality, then the music, and then we can understand the dance.
Have you ever experienced, in your whole career where dance has transformed somebody's life?
I have seen this a lot of times. Which example should I use? I was doing a research with Trinity London.
Okay.
Uh, the research was about putting somebody into a guided meditation, then creating a trustful environment, making them used to your touch, and guiding them to dance around, and eventually finding movements that that person want to do. This was all somatic experience, and through that we wanted to know what physical movements created what kind of memory. So in that project, I learned a lot, and with time I wanted to do something with that. So I created a project and I took it to Rishikesh, and I did that with 25 people. And those people went through that project and they slept like babies. They fell in love with that thing. They wanted to do it again. And those people really helped through that. I have seen people who have death in their family. Like people think they should not listen to music or dance post that. But there was a lady who was very happy with me making her dance through that phase. She used to meet me once or twice. Then I also taught a special child. She is 46 or 47 now. She was a person, like she's a special child. She was closed inside a room because of someone's death. So I created stories into dancing that we are in this world, we are in that world, we are going through a street, there is a street light, we are kicking the stone, we can see outside the window, it's raining. We started to dance. We have a mood to express it out. So that child is now performing in front of everybody.
Wow.
And earlier she was closed inside the room. So there are a lot of stories of people and dance have helped them in very different ways.
No, I guess you have somewhere or the other answered my next question, which I was going to put across. But yes, I would like you to elaborate on how can dance become a form of communication when words fail. You talked about your experience with Latin dance, if I remember it correctly. And again, how is it linked with enabling or empowering coming out or healing from personal or emotional issues?
So a person's journey through dancing or through an art form after a certain point is reflected in the art itself. Like the way I talk about dancing or the way I express dancing, the way I dance, someone can see from where he can come, or like from where he has come. And to find so can you repeat the question? I
Yeah.
want to be more specific.
No, surely, surely. So I wanted to understand how can dance be a form of communication if the words often fail? Now, to put it in context, and more, I believe this is going to be at an individual level, because we live in a world where our words are often not listened to or heard. They are often ignored. People live in oblivion, and as an individual, I need to heal. I have been probably screaming at the top of my voice, but nobody's listening to me. And I need a place where I can heal, and dance is a form I believe could help me. So how can I, start that journey? And how can dance help me communicate my emotions, express them out, and make me feel light?
So let's make it very simple for you. When you're angry, when you're frustrated, or anything goes bad, you want to scream, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe you want to break things, you want to throw away, you want to use your body to damage something, right? Now, what if I say I can make you do that only, but beautiful? You want to scream, I'll make you scream a good song. You want to break things, we'll break a leg, we'll dance. That is why it's called Let's Break a Leg. Like let's throw that energy out. You want to do that. Everybody wants to do that. Everybody is doing that. So why not do that beautifully?
Yep.
Everybody is throwing their anger. Maybe a lot of mothers are cooking in frustration. They get a lot of cuts in their hand. A lot of family members are banging the doors, throwing things around. Let's do that. But let's do that beautifully. Let's do that through dancing. So this is how it becomes their voice, their words, and their words can be put in a beautiful way. And when we talk about how it reaches the world, so for somebody's emotion expression and words coming out through dancing is in itself a piece of art. So if somebody can do that, that is another level of art. The initial effort is to first connect with yourself and first bring it out. Like you have never conversed with yourself. Doing an art, you start conversing with yourself. कि अब ये कैसे करूं? मैं अच्छा दिखूंगा क्या? Oh, ये कैसे होगा? You start talking to yourself. Else, when are you talking to yourself? You're continuously thinking कि कल क्या काम था, परसों क्या. But when are you talking to your body कि अच्छा एल्बो कैसे उठती है? अच्छा ऊपर देखना होगा क्या मुझे? अच्छा मुझे नीचे बैठना है क्या? So you talk to your body, you tell your body, you know more about your body. मुझे कैसे लग रहा है करके. So it first became your own voice. Your dancing, your art becomes a voice that comes from your within to you. You hear
Mm.
that, and when it becomes loud enough, when you can actually use it as a tool, that is another level of art.
Can you share some more experiences where you have seen students for whom dance has helped them grow personally and, really work around their emotional issues or stress or anxiety?
I have often seen this in school, like I was teaching in Father Agni, that the school cultures are a little pressurizing for kids. Like kids have to go to school, and The culture is okay. The culture is a city culture. In the end, they have to compete. Let's be forward. And to compete and to win, not everybody will win. And those who don't win are not treated nicely. Simple as that. This is the world we have created. So that ruins a child's mental health. And when they come to dance, I have seen them talking about their life rather than dancing. So a dance studio, a dance room is a space which in itself feels a way to express that they can talk anything. And you must have often heard that art teachers know most about the kids because
Yeah.
they give them space to express. A person want to express. What is the best way to express than speaking or telling or putting it out? That is the best way. You express, you put out something that is inside you. So in that space, when you dance, you move, you start putting those things out because those things are weight. And I used to see that weight inside those kids, and they used to put out that weight in order to dance more freely. Small kids used to jump onto it. They came running. They used to come to school just to dance. And I never loved going to school after a point. But when I heard this, that those kids were crying because you were not there, they didn't want to learn from you. I kept on going. Like I wanted to leave the job, but that stressed me. Like I have to do this. Like when you start teaching, it becomes a responsibility because people don't know what it is. But when it enters their life, especially so those school kids, see they are going to a new environment. They go away from home. Their parents are not there. They cannot function according to themselves. They have to listen to somebody. And so in all that environment, there was someone who was making them do all the funny and crazy things, jumping around. It helped them the most. I have seen them.
Wow.
Then I do a lot of wedding choreographies, and I have seen couple fight. So they're dancing together, yet they fight, and I cannot counsel them, of course. But then I am there when this happens. So I give them homework to practice it. They fight even more at their home. But then when they come back to me, they together figure out a lot of ways. So a lot of wedding couples I have seen, so dancing is a problem for them when the wedding day is here. But then I gave them homework. They don't realize this what I do, but I gave them homework to go home. And when they go home and practice it together, they solve problems together. A couple is solving problem together when they're learning dancing from. So I have seen fights going down during those sessions only, and I have seen their love change in very small period of time. I have seen that.
Wow.
So a lot of couples have been like they have felt different through dancing. And so in Latin dancing, we often dance close or away. And at moments, I like there's a dance form called Kizomba where we try to connect our core. So my energy goes down. We are not touching each other even, but we feel the core energy and we connect through that. So if a person core goes down, you go down together. You go up, you move side. It's that much connected. So in that dance form, I went with this mindset that I'll create space for girls to dance comfortably and release whatever they want to. Like I want them to be free. And I've seen people crying, hugging me. So people do go there. You just give them space while dancing. They can release whatever. And trust me, very few people are blessed to have a space where they can express anything. They can cry, they can shout, they can scream. It doesn't matter. They can dance like crazy. But there are very few spaces in our life, very few friends, very few people where you can be that out loud.
That's true.
So this is where I have seen people getting affected through dance.
Wow, Bharat, like, those were some of the really intriguing, experiences that you shared that, I've lost my thought process so many times in this podcast that I don't now remember what I was planning to ask you. These experiences have really made me feel lively talking to you. And I really thank you for, the way you have empowered so many people out there in their lives. I never, in my widest thoughts, I thought that we will be discussing all this, and this will be such a beautiful podcast to have with you. I'm really happy, you sharing this thing, and it has really made me feel good as well. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Any final
My
thoughts that
pleasure.
you would like to share with our audience before we wrap up our conversation?
I believe that our life's journey will eventually meet art at some point, and it doesn't matter it is dance or anything, but it's called expression. Expression of life is often done through art. Some people write books, some people tell stories, some people might sing, play music, but our life's journey will eventually go there. And there will always be a calling which will be calling you towards the art. Maybe you want to become a bartender, it's also an art. But then a human crave for art, and we all will never stop craving for art. So I told this thing to a parent in school. They said कि सारा time नाचता रहता है, all the time he's dancing. So I said, do you see your kid happy when he's dancing? They said yes. So I said, he's just 12 years old and he has found something which he can do throughout his life. It's free and he's happy doing that. This is expression, this is art, and you have a blessed kid. Let him do that. He will do rest of the things happily. I mean, he has found that thing.
Yeah.
It take people the whole life. They experiment the whole life. Thank God he has experimented so early and he got it. He was good at it. He was happy at it. He was the best. And the parents should be blessed. So why don't people seek this early in their life? Schools have art, a lot of art, but why is again a big question. So parents and in fact us as a teenager, as a growing adult in our 20s, we should seek those things which we can do happily. And art always has a lot of options for you that you can express and feel happy. Music and dance are one of the purest forms which existed naturally. A lot of other things might be created, but music and dance were always there. And music and movement, I will say, music and movement, sound and movement have always been there from
Yeah.
creation till the end. They are a part of us, they will be a part of us. So the sooner we understand it and find our ways of music and dance, the better and the further we go in life.
I totally relate to what example that you just shared, the experience where a lot of parents pressurize their kids to study, 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 and refrain from getting into the so-called co-curricular activities. I also had similar experience where my father really didn't appreciate the art and craft classes I used to enjoy at times. He also used to go and complain to my teachers that when I was in school in fifth class, we were given this project to sew a penguin out of the all the different products that we were asked to bring to the class. And I used to go back and I used to enjoy that sewing and everything. And the next parent teacher meeting that happened, my father was going to the teacher and saying कि ये बस बैठ के वो सिलता ही रहता है ये. My friends tease me too about this to date. And but I used to really love doing that, and that used to help me express myself or get that frustration or stress out of me that any, I believe, a child goes through when they're entering the teenage or get going through it, or a lot of things that are happening around them which they don't understand and they don't have anybody to talk to. So they need an outlet where they can express themselves. And I believe parents should understand that. Parents should give that outlet to their children before it's too late.
Yeah,
Because if you suppress them, that expression has to come out, and it
mm,
would come out in some form or the other, which you might not even approve of to a higher degree than you're not approving of this.
true.
So before that stage comes, why don't you let them enjoy what they have truly found, and let them be where actions are required to refrain them? Yes, please go ahead. But things which are within the secured boundaries of your watch, why can't you let them be who they are? So with that, Bharat, I would like to really thank you for sharing your beautiful life journey with us. And helping us understand how dance can be a form of wellness, especially mental health and expressions. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure for me, Pulkit.
Same here, Bharat, same here. And listeners, please do remember we are listening and we will be sharing the details for Bharat in our description below. Feel free to reach out to him for any queries or feel free to DM us if you have any thoughts. Thank you.